Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Bringing Government to You. My name is Kevin Dumas. I am the town manager here in Mansfield. And as we do our second show, today we have Catherine Coyne on our show today, and she is our wonderful library director here in the town of Mansfield. So welcome, Catherine.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
And it was funny, it was some time ago we had originally scheduled our show, and we had to reschedule, and before you know it, many months have gone by.
Yes.
And Marjorie said, you need to get down here and have your show. I'm like, you know what? So Marjorie, thank you for that. So we're here today to be able to talk a little bit about the things that are so special. I'm proud of the work that you're doing with your staff at the library.
Thanks.
And to see such activity happening all the time. And I think that you've done a wonderful job in engaging community members, young all the way to our older adult population. And it's amazing to see how much your facility gets utilized. So if you want to talk a little bit about that and a little bit about yourself, where you came from before you joined us here in Mansfield.
Sure. Well, the Mansfield Public Library, even though we're a small town library, I'm really proud because we live in a really big reading community that uses the library. So we have one of the highest circulations of both physical materials and e-materials in the whole sales library network. So we have a lot of readers, a lot of people getting DVDs, audiobooks. We do a lot of reference questions. Another interesting thing, we do a lot of interlibrary loans. So if people come into the library and we don't have what they want, we go out to sales. If sales doesn't have what they want, we go out to the whole Massachusetts. If they don't have what we want, we even go out of the state.
You told me a special story. I believe, was it a record?
Yes,
there was something that you ended up doing. If you want to tell just a little thing.
Well, I mean, I think it was it the military records from West Point? There was someone in who was doing things from military records from West Point, and we were able to get that for him. And actually, I think what you were also talking about was an LP, the
Yes.
old LPs. So everything's now is on CDs, and someone was looking for something that was on vinyl, and we thought, there's no way the library is going to share this with us, but sure enough, they did. They mailed it to us. I mailed it back. So I'm often at the post office with a big bag, mailing library things all across the country. So we really go above and beyond. My staff does to get our patrons exactly what they want. So I'm really proud of that. And as you said, it's a really busy thing. We have everything from baby story times. We opened a new teen space last October, so that's been almost a year now, and that's been going great. We finally have a place that teens come in and feel safe and welcome, and they can play games, they can do homework. Amy has done all kinds of programs with them, crafts, and then we have things for adults. We have 2 book clubs. We have a fiction book club and a nonfiction book club that's open to everybody. We have movie nights, we have a knitting group, we have a writers group that's fairly new that's been meeting monthly. So it's a happening place. If people haven't checked it out, they really need to, because we have all kinds of fun things coming up. I think, in fact, I kind of grabbed a thing. I had to remember the dates we have coming up for September. There's Queen Victoria. Oh no, this is this week, this Thursday. Someone's coming in. If you watch the television show Victoria, we have someone coming in to talk about the fashions of the time. So that's going to be a really fun program that people can come in. They're actually going to have dresses and suit jackets and kind of talk all about the history. So we kind of, see what people are into and then try to get them things. We have cooking programs coming up. We have music programs coming up. Just about everything. Ted Reinstein from Channel 5 has a book out about America's country stores, and he's coming to do a talk in September. The Graveyard Girls are coming back to talk about cemeteries in Mansfield, so that'll be fun. That's in September. It sounds like it should be October, but it's September, the Graveyard. Wow. And kids, we have all kinds of story times, and we just added a new position where we have a part-time children's librarian to cover some nights that we didn't used to have a librarian in the children's room. And she's going to be doing all kinds of evening programs like pajama story time and evening story times for kids. So like I said, I can't say enough about what my staff does and the things that we provide. It's really been, it's fun.
I mean, the couple of times that I've actually been over to your facility have been around holiday times or different themes that you've done.
Yes.
If you want to talk a little bit about that, because it was really special. First of all, going into the children's area, and the little animals and the little things that you have in there that makes it really special as you're introducing children for the first time into the library and making it very special with these different types of things you do. Makes that special for the kids. You talked about your teen space and the things that you do for adults and engaging community.
Right,
is really
right.
amazing. If you want to talk a little bit about some of the extra little special things we were
Some
talking about
some of the
before
little
we started.
fun things that we do. I know we have in May, we do Books in Bloom. We've done that for 3 years, and that's where the staff and some of the people from WeWork coordinate with the Mansfield Garden Club. And we get together and we bring books to life. And some of them are very simple, like mine, you know, little teddy bears up a tree. But some of them are quite elaborate. And we have a little contest and we have a raffle and there's all kinds of things. So if you come into the library in May, you just follow the little petals around and you'll get to see all these beautiful displays that the staff works really hard on. And I think most of the staff participates in that. Practically everybody does a book display, at least one, some do more. Right now, what I did this summer, it's been really popular, and I was just something to try out. We have these travel book bundles. So when you come in the front of the library, we have like a set of 3 books that I ordered with little luggage tags on them that say travel to India, travel to Australia, travel to the beach. And I just bought new books, kind of roped them together, and people can check out 3 books and just, you know, come in, grab something quick. Oh, that one looks good. And you might like all 3, you might like 1, you might like 2, but it was just like a fun way, and people have got a lot of fun feedback on that. So people have been armchair travelers, you know, through the summer. And at the children's room, we do lots of things. The summer reading today, I actually was in the children's room, and the children, we have an online reading program where they earn these little badges, and they're really cute stickers that they get. And once they fill their badge book, they get to choose a book and a little prize. So I had one mom who had 3 boys, so the 2 younger ones had finished their book, and they each picked out a book. One of them chose a Diary of a Wimpy Kid book, and I don't know what I can't remember the second one. And they chose a little prize, and she told me that their older son, coming in with Miss Kitty, by having those incentive programs, it really got her son like inspired to read because he was reading to win a prize. And then once he started reading, he realized, you know, reading's fun on its own. I don't have to win a prize. It's something really fun. And especially with boys, you know, to get boys hooked on reading, it's really good. So we do a lot of things like that to try to get the kids inspired and wanting to read the books and, you know, try to find out what they like. And we're lucky we have a huge facility, so we have so many books there. I mean,
your collection's amazing.
It is.
Really is.
It really is. I've come from smaller libraries and bigger libraries, and I think our library is great because we just have so much room. We can expand, and we have tons of books.
You know, I think a lot of people typically think of a library and they just think of books.
Yes.
If you want to talk about, you know, the e-services that you have.
Oh,
and
sure.
I don't think some people may realize
That's
some
true.
of the benefits you
That's
have.
true.
You were explaining to me about reaching out and doing some service over at the train station to get
Yes,
commuters involved.
yes,
Do you want to talk a
definitely.
little bit about those
Definitely.
things?
A lot of people might not realize, but when we went to Kindles, and people have Kindles and they have iPads and they're reading online books and they're purchasing those, they don't realize a lot of times that you can get books from the library. There's an app called the Overdrive app, and if you get that, you get a huge collection of books. I think in Mansfield we had like over 76,000 ebooks, and that's not counting e-audiobooks and e-DVDs. And it's completely free. You go in, you look at what you have, you check it out for 21 days, just like a book. And you can enjoy it as much as you want. My favorite thing is the e-audiobooks because I listen in the car, even though my commute's really small because I live in Mansfield. But I just plug my phone in and I can listen to a book while I'm commuting, and you don't have to worry about putting CDs and different things on, and that's all completely free. The Sales has like a big network collection of books. But Mansfield also has our own collection, so I go through at least once a month, usually twice a month, and I go through and see what are books that have a lot of holds that Mansfield people are waiting for, and I might purchase our own copy for us to have.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so, and that's why people don't have to wait as long for books as we get them. Also physical books. A lot of the bestsellers, when there's more than 5 people waiting for a book, I order a rental copy. We have a rental book where we, just
Oh.
rent the book for a certain time. So,
How interesting.
yeah, it's great. So, the new, whatever comes out, like Danielle Steele, or I'm drawing a blank but whenever the new one comes out, I'll have like 20 people waiting for it. There's at least 4 copies because I'll order the rental books, which is great. So it moves much faster than other libraries. So we're lucky to be able to do that. Another fun thing is that we now have a ukulele that you can check out. We have, it was donated to us by the Unlikely Strummers when they came into the program. And we bought a cute case for it, and it has a tuner, and it has 2 books with it to learn how to play ukulele.
Oh, how neat.
And there's so many people waiting for that we're thinking we're going to have to buy another ukulele, and we might buy one for the children's side too. And so people don't always think about that, but we're trying to think of fun things to have that people can just try something out different from the library. Books are still the most important, but it's nice to have some of those fun things
Absolutely.
too. So yeah, the ukulele's been very popular. So we probably should have a concert with, if you learn to play ukulele with the library ukulele, come in and give us a concert
exactly.
or something like that.
That's so neat.
Yeah, and we also have a lot of other online resources. They're all on our website. So we have something called Transparent Languages. You can learn to speak a language as ESL courses, all kinds of things. We have all these test prep. If you're looking to take the SAT or the GRE or the MCATs or whatever you're doing, you can go on there and do test practicing.
Wow.
We have driver's ed tests under our teen section, so kids who are learning. And another fun thing, it's actually our e-newsletter. I highlighted it this month. We have something called tutor.com, and that allows, if you have a library card and an internet connection from home, that allows you to go on and get a one-to-one tutoring session. It's all vetted and everything. It's been going on for, so you're helping your child with their math homework and you don't understand it. You go on, you get a tutor, and it's great. I used it with my daughter because there were some things I didn't understand, and they bring up and they did the whiteboard, and it's really great. It's free tutoring. The library gets used a lot for tutoring, but this is like a free service that anyone with the library card can get. So we were kind of pushing that September's library card month. And I think I was telling you, we have, out of all the residents in Mansfield, we have 15,000 registered with library cards. And sometimes that's because a family might just have one card instead of all of them having it. But if kids don't have a library card, now's the time to come do it and find out about tutor.com and all the other great things we have online that will help them when they get back to school.
And I think that's also very impressive with your staff, is that you empower them to dream and to think up these things and put them into action, which is a lot of fun. The other thing is, when you go to the library, you're always greeted, "How are you today? Welcome."
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That makes people feel very warm and very comforting when they come.
It is.
But it's always a constant stream of people. It's
It
amazing.
is. It's great. We have our regulars, and then we get new people all the time. It's great. It's like, some people, my daughter once said to me, she goes, "You think you're the only one I know who loves your job?" And I'm like, how could I not love it? It's like the best job in the world, I think. So.
And it's interesting. I think it's also nice in getting to know you with your position in the town. To explain where you came from and what you brought for tools to the table, and how you've built what you've done here in Mansfield.
So basically, I guess I was kind of born to be a librarian, but I didn't know it. Growing up in Boston, my dad worked for the Boston Public Library. He was the head of their printing and bindery department. So I was always at the library with Dad, and I had my Boston Public Library card, and I would go into the library in Rosendale where I grew up, and they'd say, "Oh, home, are you related to Joe?" And I'd be like, "It's my dad," so I kind of felt special about that. And my mother always told the story that in the children's room at the library near me, my little branch library, I read every book, and they had to hold the new books for me because I just plowed through them.
Wow.
So, but that wasn't what I always thought I was going to be a teacher, and so I went to college. I got a BA in English literature, and then I was kind of thinking, well, what am I going to do now? Do I really want to teach? What do I want to do? And I had a friend who was going to Simmons to get her master's. She wanted to be a librarian, and I thought, well, maybe children's librarian. That's kind of like teaching, and so that's what I did. I went to Simmons. I became a children's librarian, and I was lucky at the time that I was the last one to go through the Boston Public Library, had a program called the Pre-Professional Program. So I was working full-time at the Boston Public Library and going to Simmons College at night, which was really close by. And what I did was I rotated every 3 months through different departments. So I spent 3 months in the cataloging department, 3 months like in science reference, dealing with all the people coming and looking up patents and things. 3 months in a branch, 3 months. And so I really got a great overview of the whole library system.
Absolutely.
So, seeing from when the books came in and they're cataloged, how they find where they're going to put the cataloging, to doing these. I also used to love giving tours to the school kids, because the McKim building in Boston is just like a beautiful architectural gem. So I actually learned a lot giving the tours, and it was just fun to work with the kids and point out all these little special like paintings and things that they have there, because that's really just such a palace of all the art they have there.
Absolutely, for sure.
Definitely. So from there, I kind of was in the main library, and I ended up becoming a children's librarian. Then I became like a head of a branch. I was the head of different branches. And before my husband and I went to China to get adopt our daughter, I was at the West Roxbury Branch Library, which was the busiest branch in Boston. Very, very
Really?
busy. And so it's a lot like Mansfield.
Yep.
It had like the highest circulation. It had the most use. It was like the same type center of the community. So I was there. I stayed home for a little bit. I taught preschool. And then I got a job at as a children's librarian at the Ames Free Library in Easton. And I was there about 6 years. And then when Mansfield opened, I said, I have to go to my hometown. I loved where I was, and I always loved working in the libraries, but there's just something about, being the librarian in your hometown. It's just wonderful. Not just because the commute is short. It's just great to be doing the stuff for like the people in your town. And
Absolutely.
I really, at that time, my daughter was younger, so I was very, in tune with the schools, and I knew the teachers that came in and all of that. So it was great. And so I really feel like I have like a nice way to reach out to the community. I know a lot of the pieces of the community, which has been very helpful in outreaching from the library.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and as you said, one of the things I think you had mentioned, we always would wish if we had more staffing. One of the things I thought was we should set up a little booth, like you said, at the train station and let people know, like, hey, do you have your phone? Let me show you how to get this, app, and you can get things from the library. And someday, that's my dream, is that hopefully we'll be able to set up like a little pop-up library, different places. We do take part in like the family fun night and different things like that, but just being able to say, hey, want us to show you how to do this. Oh, I should mention too, if you come to the library right now, we have our own library app, which is really good, that we have for the Mansfield Library, and it will give you alerts about what's going on. But Sales, which is our library network, just came up with a mobile app, and what I love about it is you can find out about your account, you can download books, you can find out what's happening at our library, but my favorite thing is this thing down here. It says My Barcode. And you can scan your library card, and it'll be in your phone, and you never have to worry about not having your library card. Because most people are attached to the hip with their phone. But a lot of times people come in and they come to get a book or something, and they say, oh, I don't have my card with me, or they're going through 500 cards so that they get little plastic ones. So that's what we've been trying to tell people, is download the Sales app. It's on the Google Play Store and the iTunes Store, and you can have your barcode. The barcode scans at the desk, and it also scans on our self-checkout.
How neat.
Yeah, which I should mention too, that about a year ago, right after we did the teen space, we also redid the library. We have a RFID system, like a radio frequency inventory system that we have at the library now, that allowed us to have a self-check. And it also allows us to check out multiple books at once, which is why those 3 book bundles, you didn't have to take them apart. You put it on and all 3 go bing, bing, bing. So we have a really great new inventory system and self-check. And this does work on the self-check when you scan it. So
Perfect.
Yeah. So last year we made a lot of changes. So this year I'm not sure we'll make as many changes as we did last year. We kind of took on a lot last year, but I was very glad because when I first came to Mansfield, we were still stamping cards to check out books, and I thought, no, no, no. My staff has other things to do with their time
Absolutely.
than stamp cards. And so this has given them a chance to be able to do more things. You know, it frees them up. With a self-check gets used sometimes, not a lot. The kids, I think, sometimes like it more than the adults. They think, how does it do that? That's great. But it's just my staff doesn't have as many mindless, you know, just stamping
Exactly.
cards. They're able to use their creativity more at the desk, which I think is really great. So, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing just to see over the last 20 years how libraries have changed.
Yes,
And
definitely.
where we think they're going in the future. Do you want to give a little perspective on that?
Yeah, I mean, I know probably, I don't know how many years ago it was, I've had, and still to this day, I've had people say to me, why do you need a library? Because we have Google. We can Google everything. We have the internet. But I love Neil Gaiman, the author, one of his favorite quotes, and I might be saying it wrong, is that Google can give you 1,000,000 answers, but a librarian will give you the right one. So I think that people are finding that, you know, you can, especially with kids coming up, they can look up things on the internet, but you don't know who's putting that out there or what it is. So
Exactly.
you need the librarian to kind of guide them and teach them the right way to do the research, and even adults coming in. And a lot of people, it's funny, a lot of people aren't as into like the reading the e-books as we do have a lot of people do it, but people still want the books. But we try to keep up with the times. Like I said, we added the ukulele, and we try to do a lot more things. And the other thing that libraries always are is a community center. And I think we're probably, except for Town Hall, maybe one of the few places in town where you get everybody from babies all the way up to senior citizens coming through. I mean, most other departments or other places where people work, you don't deal with that broad range of people coming in. So we're really like a great community space, and where people hook up, you know, not hook up, people meet up with each other. And you know, a lot of times you'll see someone coming in and going, oh, hi, you know, I haven't seen you, and they're talking. And as I said, programming and all of that, so we try to do that. So I think libraries, people may have tried to write them off as like going out with the dinosaurs, but we're not going anywhere. We're still.
And it proves by your numbers.
Mm-hmm,
And,
definitely.
You know, before we started today, you were giving the statistic of
Yes.
last year's numbers.
Right, right. So last year we circulated in Mansfield over 186,000 items,
Incredible.
which is amazing.
It really is.
It is. And like I think we're like the third highest. We used to be the fourth highest in the sales network. We moved up to third. And the people who are above us are cities like Attleboro and that. So for like a small community to be able to do that, it's just wonderful. And we just have a really great community that works with and loves the library, and we're very lucky to have that. We have a strong Friends of the Library group. I should mention that they have a ongoing book sale. Some libraries will have like a big book sale, like, you know, once a year. We weren't able to do that because we didn't have storage space. But when people come into the library, right up the front, we have books that's like $1 or 50 cents, and it's great. We see a lot of people doing that, and the Friends use that money, and they provide a lot of our museum passes that we have. And they also.
Oh, we forgot to talk about
yeah,
that.
I
That's
was going
right.
to tell.
I forgot about that.
Yep, we have museum passes at the library.
Which I think that's a little hidden secret too.
That may be that people might not know. So if you have a library card, you can go on and reserve discount museum passes. And I think we must have. I didn't bring the list because we have a little bookmark, but they were very popular, so they went out. I had to reprint them. But we have everything from the Children's Museum, the Eastern Children's Museum, Providence Museum, the Aquarium, the Heritage Garden Museum, Salem Witch Museum. That one will be popular, although they don't let us use it in October. And we
I can't imagine why.
No, we just added a new one. The Friends just added. It's the which I didn't even know, Boston Wax Museum, which opened a year ago, August.
Oh,
wow. And I guess it's.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, I guess it's somewhere near Faneuil Hall, near City Hall, also. And it's very educational. They have a Hall of Presidents, and then they have kind of Boston-centric, like they'll have like, you know, obviously Tom Brady and, you know, the Kennedys and things like that. So we have passes for that, and that pass, I believe, lets you in free. We also just got Boston by foot passes. So people, if you go in and you see people giving those little tours around Boston, we have that. We have almost anything you could ask for. We have passes too, which is really great, and it's just
And it's free.
It's free to use it. Sometimes it doesn't let you in absolutely free. Sometimes they'll give you a discount, but
Right.
you know, we have the Museum of Fine Arts, the Gardner Museum, all kinds of things. So that's another perk that comes with having a library card, is that you can get museum passes.
Well, you're certainly rocking and rolling over at 255 Hope Street.
Yes.
A lot going on.
Yes.
And, you know, again, I just want to thank you for your dedication and for the work of you and your staff.
Oh, great.
When you're having that type of activity that's flowing through the doors of the Mansfield Public Library, that's something to be extremely proud of. And you guys are doing a fantastic job.
Thank you, thank you. We all love it there. So.
And it's proven, that's for sure. So if you haven't had the opportunity, or you haven't been in a while, we ask that you visit Catherine and her staff over at 255 Hope Street, over at the Mansfield Public Library, and take part of what's going on. You may be able to go online. The e-newsletter that they have is fantastic, a great way to keep informed of what's going on. And there's tons of stuff that's going to be upcoming in the next several months.
Definitely.
So please stay tuned to that. And again, thank you for tuning in to Bringing Government to You. Hopefully you get to know a little bit more about what's happening at your public library and a little bit about Catherine, who's your director. So listen, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for inviting me. This has been fun.
And then we'll do another show in the future.
Sounds good.
All right.
Great.
Thanks for tuning in.